been for a long time and put in these cells with nothing but rags and chains. And the first thing that happened basically was this lady entering the door, Theodora, whom we've all come to know and love. What at this point, sort of, as players, how did you feel about this beginning?
I really enjoyed the beginning. The classic prison break. It's a really good way of starting out a campaign. I think actually I've used it before myself, and it's I was excited and also a bit terrified because I was a wizard. I had like 3 spells and not much else.
Yeah, session 1 was definitely one of our most memorable ones, I think.
Yeah. I think we all know why.
It's a session I still remember very well for more than one reason, really.
Yeah.
The start was interesting with Theodora coming to us. Theodora, who we didn't know at the time, of course. She was just some woman to us.
Yeah.
Who picked Zacharias and then gave him all that stuff that helped us to escape. But yeah, there were, I think, a number of things that happened that quickly made this session very memorable. The chest.
Yeah, the chest incident. I think actually the first session is one of the most lethal sessions situations we've been in.
Yes.
Because we were surrounded by armed guards everywhere, and we had basically no resources. And we had this damn Grumblejack that we tried to control by basically scaring him. Like, you will not do anything because Cash will use.
He was afraid of magic.
Yeah, Cash will use fairy fire on you.
Yeah,
and
we were taunting him about. Basically, we're taunting him with fairy fire and cantrips.
Yeah,
It's true.
because it was such. It started out fairly well, and then I went to get some water. And came back to complete madness and chaos, and I was like, "Oh my god, we're all gonna die now."
So why don't the rest of you tell Jonas what exactly happened in that time he was
What
gone?
did happen?
To be honest, I thought that Theodora was something your character knew.
Yes, I thought the same thing. I was curious, like, man, who is this character? How does Jonas know them?
I thought it was his wife.
Yeah, I figured it was someone you knew.
I thought it was his wife. I was like,
yeah, because of course that's how she opened it up. She opened it up as your wife.
Yeah, I know. I just ran with it.
It worked out, I guess.
So yes, dearie.
Yeah, but after escaping our initial cell with the items we got, we eventually came across a room, or a series of rooms. And one of the rooms had a chest in it. And personally, as a player at that point, I'm going to blame my inexperience there. Well, I'm going to blame 2 things. I'm going to blame my inexperience and the fact that I knew that something was going to go horribly wrong, and instead of intervening, I just decided to go with it.
Your best option would be to blame me, probably, because I think I really wanted that chest.
I think it was more than just you wanting that chest. But basically...
few of us, I think, that wanted the chest.
Yeah.
Mainly, possibly from desperation, because we barely had anything.
That and first chest of the game. Who's not going to take it?
Exactly, I think that was the main motivation. We were low on resources, we found this chest which promised untold riches. And, well, then Jonas decided to go AFK, and we were like, how are we going to open that chest? I know, let's smash it.
Well,
while trying to escape a prison, while being low on time, while being actively looked for by hundreds of guards, probably. And that seemed like the best idea at the time. So we spent 20 minutes trying to smash out a chest.
Well,
we went the RPG style of break into everything.
Well, me and Dark both failed opening it, and Manaki did say that a large noise came from it, and we were like, "Oh, we're probably gonna get it noticed now anyway." So let's smash this chest. I don't even.
Yeah.
think
So
there's
when the alarm goes up, You do not run away. You stand there and keep smashing at the chest.
We weren't smashing. Me and Tyne were.
Grumbliak was smashing. Yeah, Grumbliak and
me and Dark tried to open it, but we couldn't.
yeah.
And we were like, okay, maybe we can do something together about it. And I think one of you suggested maybe we should just, acid the lock. But then Grumblejack just went ape shit on that chest.
And nobody stopped him.
Well, how were we supposed to stop him? And I don't
Just like tell him not to.
I don't remember who's told him to do it.
I think that was me actually, with Kyron just suggesting to smash it.
I'm a little scared if it's me.
Someone can go. I'm sure the commenters will go ahead and double check the video for us. I'm pretty sure, going back to my memory, yes, you were the one sheep who originally suggested the idea, and then Jake jumped on board, and then I believe, I reluctantly eventually jumped on board because you guys just kept going on it. So,
I jumped board on it too.
It was a horrific catastrophe. I am pretty sure it was a fairly good way of getting out of that prison, but instead we started
There were
the chest.
cool things in there.
Yeah,
At that point, I was basically just going, well.
I built
Campaign.
this prison for nothing now. They're never going to see any of this.
there is one
at
thing.
that point, I basically went, all right, I'm going to give them jam. I'm going to give them some warnings. It makes noise loud that we are smashing this metal lock. Fine, Grumblejack. Fine, you get the stuff now.
All
Deal
right.
with 2 guards that were not drunk and gambling that evening. That actually arrived. And the dogs, they're tired too. They don't bark or anything. So that's basically when I think that's the time I've intervened the most.
Yeah.
As a
Yes, especially because
in that session, as we go a little forward, I'll tell you the 3 times you'd all died. This was the first.
Yeah, first time.
Especially
If the alarm had gone up and you would have fought all these people in that closed room without any way out, you would have died.
Especially because Zacharias actually did die,
Yeah, I did.
like completely.
Then
But we don't talk about that.
No, I suggested was he using his club instead maybe and trying to subdue me, and Manaki was like, yes, he was actually. So we warped time and space to bring
And then
Zacharias.
we decided to jump off a cliff.
Then we ran up on the battlements and basically leaped into the water and swam
this was
inland.
Marcus's first brush with death.
And just so you know, those cliffs were supposed to do 5d6 of damage.
Oh,
Um,
5d6, right?
Yeah.
So that would also, and the archers were supposed to shoot at you for quite some time. The water only gives cover, so you would have died there too.
Were there
Also,
any
the
alternatives?
hounds and horses did not follow you at the end, because I thought, let's just this is not going well. This person, this guard who's supposed to keep this person intact, he's horrible. The absolute, he's described as being terrible, which is why he's basically Bandit Scout Prison at the time the players leave is the worst it's been ever. It's usually super well, but this wizard who is ruling it really wanted to spend all the money on awesome stuff for himself. He hired this really cheap ass old mercenary crook of a guard, who then invited all his gambling buddies to be the guards of this place, who are all terrible soldiers and such. Which is the only reason there aren't 6th level fighters everywhere and whatnot, allowing the players to actually escape. Sadly, they wouldn't have, of course, but in this time, he was even worse than described, and
Maybe hell intervened on our behalf a little bit.
it seems so.
I think after that session, all the players were aware that we should have died in that place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Very much so.
I think though that also went as a sort of an awakening moment, perhaps. Sort of all right, I let it slide this time, but this campaign does not pull punches. You gotta be able to fend. You're evil. The people hate you for good reason. And I think you began taking things a little more serious at that point. So maybe it was good for the general tone.
Death knocking a door 3 times in one session, it normally pretty much tells you need to wake up.
It certainly was a session. We got out though. We escaped.
That session is very vivid in my mind. I can replay the entire thing still.
You escaped indeed. Let's take a look here, and escaping, there was also that toad you fought.
Oh, yeah, that toad.
Yeah, that's
It was a dangerous fight, but interesting nonetheless. You would have been able to hear Banther about it and everything. It was a great. Radisca really was a place we did not get the mileage out of. I'd say so much build, so little. The first session, I spent tons of time building that damn thing. Yeah, upper quarters and everything.
Yeah, because I
could have stolen that spell book and.
Yeah, because I got a spoiler over what was actually in there, and it's just like, oh, well, at least the map layout, so it's like, oh god, we missed that much? Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we missed everything.
That was a stealth section for people with no stealth skill, and yet you managed to mess it up.
I think I was the only one who had stealth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
but
why
you
did I get those?
the book was made so you could smuggle an ogre through the whole thing. Well, but you eventually arrived into Act 2 of Book 1, called Into the Knot.
Yeah, the
and
manor.
Eating the Master.
Yes.
As you entered here, what was your sort of leaving that hell of outside wetness?
The whole manor experience, I was like, all right, it cannot be as bad as the damn prison because that was horrific. But oh man, did the stay at the manor turn out to be a trial as well?
I remember.
May I speak about the pit incident?
Yeah,
let's talk about the meeting with Thornthurst, shall we? That seems to be a sort of a big moment.
Such a shady character.
When we met Thorn, I was pretty much like, well, Zacharias kind of hates all divinity for various reasons. He's very angry. He's hateful. He's definitely not an Asmodean. And he has no intention of worshipping Asmodeus, but he will go along with this because what the hell can he do? He's all alone. He needs allies. He needs resources. So meeting Thorn, he was like, this is some weird cultist guy who wants to recruit us into some, cult. All right, fine, I'll go along with it as long as it keeps me out of prison. This time,
I had very similar thoughts for Kyron, basically. Because Kyron is not a person who follows people easily, and he doesn't really care about deities and all that crap. And hello, Grumblejack. But at that point, yeah, it was either sign the contract, or probably not get out of there alive. So there was very little choice in the first place. And
I think he would probably have killed those who wouldn't stay.
Yeah, very likely.
You can't just let people run around with that knowledge.
And I mean, they got us out of prison, so might as well. Can't be worse than being dead, right? How wrong we were.
Well,
it
was kind of creepy because Manaki told me what had happened with because she had been knocked out and drugged. And Manaki was like, she'll probably have been beaten up, and the time she had woken up, she would have heard the knights saying that when her head has been removed, they would rape her. So I was like, oh, fuck!
I think that's the appropriate reaction to hearing something like that.
Yeah, so anything but that prison was the best, and for what I've gathered, it was not long after she had tried to kill that Inquisitor, and then being noticed. She did poison him, but he survived.
Oh, Timian.
Oh, Timian.
We'll get to you soon.
But he survived and removed the hoods of all his the people that were in the same room with him, and when it was Kav's turn, she went for it too. But, Inquisitors are pretty strong. But she really didn't have anything to lose.
So actually, with over half the group being very reluctant to allying with Thorn, we actually had two people who were kind of Asmodean. At least Marcus was, right?
Well, Marcus was.
Yeah.
Zurus not so much. Zurus was in a grey area. I'll let Marcus go first.
Well, the thing with Marcus is basically he was a paladin of Mitra in Mathrin for the beginning many years of his life. And so, he's got to have some kind of religion if he's going to be a paladin. But what ended up happening was he had a master, and this master was a real dickhead, basically, and kind of converted him to the Asmodean faith, kind of convincing him that the Mithrans were against him in every way, over time, and slowly Marcus kind of fell for it, and that's how he got where he is today. But that's why he's even in the prison, is because they found out about it and they sent him away for worshiping a false god, and but so when we met with Thorn, he's like, "Hey, I have a chance to prove myself to my new god. How convenient." So it was great for him. He can regain the favor of the one he worships. So it worked out.
Well, yeah, and he was like, he'll give us of revenge, so...
Yeah, which was among the most important thing for Zacharias.
Yeah,
He was like,
and-
in revenge against the Mithrils? Hell yeah.
Yeah, the
Yep.
same with Cash. Revenge, awesome. For some reason, he just knew every freaking thing about us.
Mm.
So she was like, well, if he knows so much, he knows that Cash wants to kill this Inquisitor. So he's like, can I kill this Inquisitor? And he's like, I'll give you whatever you want. And she's like, deal. I'll sign that paper.
In Azurus' case, he was very apathetic to the gods. He had no, argument either way, which is interesting considering his position now. Because in his case, just the way he grew up, he had no reason to be connected to the religions. He was always in a mortal war, as it was. He never had time to deal with any of it. So really, Azorius wasn't really in a standing at all. What caught him was basically asking, who is Asmodeus, and what clicked it is when one of part of Asmodeus' domain is fire itself. Is what started catching his interest, and he started researching into it. That is really what started pulling him into it all. And at the time as well, Azorius, being put into prison, being beaten and arrested, and his will was very broken. He didn't have the leadership to try and act independent as he now would if the same situation came back up.
So yeah, I think the most memorable thing also of the the manor visit is of course the trials, the labyrinth below.
Oh yes.
So how about to get some speed going? What would be your everyone in the group, including Manaki, what would be your favorite thing from the labyrinth?
I would say it was when we went into the torture room and Timian was in there.
Oh, Timian. Oh, Timian.
And the saying about the door was something like torture is a tool, not an occupation, or something like that.
Pastime, I think it was.
Pastime, yeah.
That was a big turning point in Cash life. She stopped beating up the poor servants. And we kind of agreed not to torture Timian.
Yeah, I think the most memorable thing about the entire dungeon was basically Timian. Not exactly that he was in there, because he was squire to a knight, I think, who was in there. But the fact that we actually managed to convert him and basically eventually turn him into one of our first and most loyal minions, that is still mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, this little scared kid.
That is definitely one of my favourite bits, and I also have two most memorable bits. One of which was the serpents. The steel serpents, I remember that fight very vividly because we had so much trouble with them.
Yeah.
They were mithril, weren't they?
Mithril,
yeah.
mithril cobras.
We had that mithril right up to the point when we met those from the north.
Yeah, we got awesome cash from it.
Yeah, and the narwhal horn.
My second most memorable moment was so Cash had found something, come out to show us. I went ahead 5 steps to go get a good view of looking at it, and a pit opened.
Yes. Oh, the pit.
Which, by the way, basically auto killed me, and you guys had to rest several hours for me to
and
go
we and we were like, Malika was like, oh, it's not too bad, it's not that deep. It's like, oh, well, it's a D6. Oh, that was max damage. Well, there's a few spikes, but no problem. It's like a D4 per spike. Oh, maximum amount of spikes. Well, That's 4d4, and then yeah.
And at
Sewers are
that
gone.
point, we were basically, yep, let's leave. Let's come back tomorrow.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, just one step inside and
First room.
face plant into the pit and need to get out.
Realize we're just a 5-foot step. Oh, look, a pit!
Lesson there was be cautious. Don't just go for the open door.
I didn't go for the open doors.
It
So,
was
I guess caution.
The thing was, we knew that we thought that something might be up, but we didn't think the trap or whatever there would be that big.
Well, there's also the other side of it, which Cash did search for traps, and I believe she rolled like a 23 or 24 or something.
Mm.
And it's like, oh, fair enough, there must not be a trap here. Whee!
Well, she did find a door though.
You found a door, but not a trap.
And also
Oh.
Zachariah's marbles. What?
Yeah,
Oh, the
I like that was a
Yes.
because with the trap thing I was like, all right, this is our perception is not good enough to find these damn things. I'm gonna get some freaking marbles, throw it on the floors and see if we actually trigger a trap that way. And we kind of did. A huge boulder smashed into
Everything.
smashed into everything.
Instant death,
And
basically.
that was
Yeah.
the day Zacharias lost his marbles.
Also the room with the mold
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, with the eyes.
and
And there was
kept
the vampire
putting fire
mist
on
too.
it.
Oh yeah, the vampire
Made it
mist.
bigger.
That vampire mist was terrible.
It's hard to hit it with like
It
sticks.
was the worst.
Oh, we couldn't kill the vampire mist.
The Draugr.
The Draugr, yeah, at that point.
I don't know where's the problem.
That was a scary fight, though. I think we
Yeah.
had a cliffhanger end there, where I was pretty sure someone was going to die.
Yeah, it looked very grim fighting the Draugrs.
We survived, though, through careful use of acrobatics and hiding in a hallway.
And Grease.
And grease.
And grease.
Copious amounts of grease.
You know, Grease, I think, was one of Zacharias' favourite spells.
Oh yeah, it's still very good.
And you met the
Kyron's-
Just
Nice,
amounts
that
of grease
escape.
sounds like a fun
yeah,
time.
yeah.
And
I
Kyron's color spray.
I also think that finding Timian and be able to actually slowly starting to turn him was probably my favorite thing with the whole manor episode, because he was like, "Oh, I'm a scared kid," but then when we found his master, we even then we had gotten like him in like doubting who was his friends and stuff, and he's actually stayed with us, and that was great.
Basically, we pulled on Timmy and what my master pulled on me.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, he went
Pretty
full.
incredibly useful.
Yeah, went full Emperor Palpatine on him.
Hmm
He gave you, after all, the layout and everything of a Brandiscar.
Yeah, it did. It's
He gave
true.
you a map. He gave you information.
Valentine, wasn't it?
Yeah, Valentine.
Yeah, Palpatine. Yeah. Yeah,
Such a nice kid.
the manor was fun, and really grueling. Like everything is in the first levels. Like everything can freaking kill you so quickly.
It was fun when we were like, Timmy needs a new picture. We can't have him as a Hell Knight looking like a little girl.
That's far later though. That's like in the Horde.
It was still fun.
Oh, we'll get there.
So, if we keep going, then...
Because Act 3 is called the Fire Axe. Fire Axe. And this is where you are on Thorn's command, being told to take these weapons and smuggle them, protect the ship, smuggle them north, and give them to the bugbears so they can be armed with steel.
The
I think
journey,
everyone knows what comes next.
the journey north. Wow.
That
Well-
dude.
Well, we
that
also, before the
axe.
journey, something did happen before the journey north, which was, of course, our training montage, and also we met, what was it, the 7th knot?
Yeah, something not.
Yes.
We
Yeah,
met.
those
we,
guys.
I remember
Those
the
terrible
moment we met them. The rivalry.
Yeah.
Well, how do we say it? Rivalry.
Rivalry.
Yep.
Yeah.
You could just feel it right away. It was terrible. It's like, oh, we're so much better than you, and we're all like, oh, fuck you.
Yeah, I think that's also one of the like early points when like the whole group sort of solidifies against these people. Like
Alright, yup.
they think they're freaking better than we are. Oh yeah.
We all have our own goals, but our main now goal that we can all agree on is fuck those guys.
Yeah, exactly.
I
We can all
remember
agree
it's
on
like
this.
the Force. Oh, if the 7 are to betray us, are we allowed to, sit there for? And he was like, yeah, sure.
And we were like, good.
Excellent. But there, I don't remember what the White Witch name was, but she,
Cylindra something?
She had it in for Kyron. She really liked.
Yeah.
She would take that. But Kyron was just,
Oh.
I'm too good for you.
It was great. But yeah, then the journey north.
But
She just a bit of insight. She was looking for a new member of her knot, and she was attracted to strength.
Mhm.
However, advancing upon her would have made both Dost and her
Track.
protector and Track quite annoyed with that character.
would've
Kind
been
of dodged a bullet.
It would have been so fun. We'd have this love triangle.
What does Karen sound like when he's trying to be tender to a woman?
I leave that up to your imagination.
Well,
Things we missed.
determined
Also
to
implying
beat
that he
these
would be
rivals.
tender.
It was
And,
pretty obvious that Track would have been angry at whoever would
Yeah, that was
put
pretty
her
obvious.
eyes.
That might be my favorite part of that manor experience would be the meeting with those, because I think it played out really well, and it sort of gave you the first time as maybe you probably didn't realize that at the time, but sort of the feeling of we're a team. These fuckers are gonna get down.
Yeah.
This is our
I totally thought that we were gonna be pitted against them in some like race
Yes.
against time in a dungeon or something. Like, you will both race to bring me this.
I like that we really talk smack about each other. Nah, you're going down. It was
It's
so
also important to
funny.
show how the knots were all sort of being trained for their specific purposes, and
Yeah. It was fun.
how the trials were
so fun.
individual.
And when we were just waiting for them to fuck up, I was like, oh, yes, they fucked up. We can kill them. It was so
And
awesome.
and then we went north on the ship. I forget the name of the ship.
And the dude with
Frosthammer.
and
Frost
the dude
Hammer.
with the axe,
I forget the name of the dude.
the captain.
Yeah, Odin.
Kagel.
Cargill. Was that his name? Cargill, really. Completely forgotten his name, but he was certainly a friend to us.
Where
Oh,
we were
yes.
venturing from, like, the river, was it? We were venturing from?
Oh, he was
No, we-
fast.
We went
Nice.
like, where's my pointer? Went like
Yeah,
this,
from Brandonscar
and
up.
then all the way up here.
Little snack about Seal Isle. Catch some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that is the
Yes.
most memorable
Yeah, we
thing
have
of the
Argyle
journey
Oak.
north.
Bunyips.
Yeah, Odenkirk. Yeah.
The pictures with the bunyips is in there too.
Yeah, the bunyips.
I
Because
don't like the cat around here.
I remember the reason
Yeah.
I started drawing bunyips was because there was only space for 3 people in a boat.
Yeah.
There he is. And everyone's
That-
like, I don't want to be in a boat with him because he was such an ass. And I was like, okay, I'll be in a boat with him. So I sat with him and his comrades, and when we got attacked by bunyips, he just ran.
Yeah.
And I started throwing all kind of stuff at those bunyips because I had throw anything. So I started throwing harpoons and all kind of shit at those. And it didn't work. I kept telling him go back, and I kept trying to tell him, "Oh, you've been poisoned." And my bluff was just so bad, I couldn't make him go back. And then Manaki was like, "You can't. There's no way you can do it." And I was, "Oh shit. Well, sorry guys." And then I just had to wait and hope you didn't die. And then I started drawing bunyips in my despair.
Oh, I forgot about that guy.
Oh, the bunyips.
I don't actually remember where we met him on the route.
That was in like an
He's the
ice. No, it was an ice devil thing that we met when we ran into a
Yeah,
storm,
him.
and he was
He was-
sitting. Yeah, he was sitting up in the mast of the ship, like shooting stuff at us.
Wait, was he like? Oh, I think it was this bit here we met him then. Wasn't
Yeah.
Being a real meanie.
Who threw this sparkly light thingy at him?
I did.
That was Kyron, I think.
No, I think I. Well,
You did?
Kyron or Zacharias.
Oh yeah,
threw
that
glitter
was
dust at
that
him.
was glitter dust, yeah. But I do remember that Kyron actually climbed up there
Oh,
to
yeah.
smack him,
Yeah.
and did actually manage to do it, but couldn't quite finish him off. He just
No.
left.
He ran away.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
remember we were all like, no one used metal weapons, so Cash used the novel horn as a weapon because she could hit twice with it.
and we met the ice barbarians, which proved very useful.
Oh,
it? Several chapters later.
Yeah, several, like almost a year later, proved to be a lifesaver.
It did.
That
believe
was
it was
that was
more than a
also that was actually, I think that was the first sort of meeting we had as a group where we actually forged an alliance by ourselves, not actually to our masters or you know, for the greater good or evil in this case or something. But this was actually an alliance we forged ourselves.
I really wanted
Um,
to change clothes with him, just because that is something Cash would want to do. But the thing is, his attire sucked. It was not better than the armor Cash had on. But when he was like, "Does someone want to change clothes?" and I was like, "Oh, I want to do it, but your attire suck."
And we also we met the killer dolphins that didn't do anything really because we didn't really fall into the water too much. We were kind of lucky there maybe. Look at those dolphins, those smug dolphins.
Smug dolphins.
Oh, there are problems.
Yeah, that was a very action-packed journey north.
Wasn't it Zachariah's fault that your boat?
Oh yeah, I
tipped over?
fumbled. I rolled a 1 on my wisdom check, I think, because I didn't have proficient sailor.
And this
And
is
we
why
just
Azurius
flipped.
now has Profession Sailor as a skill.
Yeah, we just flipped. It's like, oh crap! And then Manaki was like, "Well, the bunyip's close in," and you're like, "What? What is a bunyip?"
Please.
It's like, well, there's this thing, and like the bunyip like flopped onto the ship and started. Yeah, oh, such
And
a mess.
we were like, what? That's not a thing.
Yeah,
What
it's
is
like
this?
it's totally a thing. What is it? It's a demon seal thing. You're like, what? Oh, but and then they like shouted, like did that weird call thing. They then like stunned us and everything, and we're like, oh, that was bad.
Do you remember even what this little merman down here? He had like he was like an oracle with epic visions and whatnot
You
during
did?
the battle. Yeah.
Oh,
So who knows what that might be? That's something for the viewers to go back and look at. You guys can't remember it.
I have no idea.
Some of those sort of meta words that have been repeated multiple times during the campaign were first said there.
Oh, really?
Interesting enough.
Now I need to go back and watch those episodes and what did
He
he
was
say?
more important than you think he was. Because
Yeah.
the battle was kind of like he was kind of wimp, but you know. Yeah. So you sailed down and arrived to the
Well,
camp, and a few, there you sort of were introduced to fire axe in a bloody manner, if you could say so.
not before we had
Very colorful.
not before we had to kill all
Very
these men,
colourful,
and
yeah.
we knew we had to kill the captain, and then we found out what kind of badass he was.
What sort of
That axe was so evil.
what sort of impression did the fire axe do at first?
I think we liked him right away because he was pretty polite and seemed rather intelligent, as well as like what's the word? Like good at what he does and what he's supposed to do.
He
I
wasn't.
liked him because I thought he looked awesome.
He wasn't an asshole to us.
Cash didn't like him, but that's because she was sick and tired of bugbears. But when he was suddenly not as stupid as all the bugbears she knew, then it was kind of weird.
Oh, good old Sekhiroth. Yeah, I think I think I first saw him like he's just some war chief. Like, who cares? He's gonna die. It's like whatever. But he has turned out to be a stalwart ally.
I thought when we arrived and all these bugbears came up to us and attacked us, and when Fire Axe arrived, I was like, oh, he's gonna attack us too because he's a stupid bugbear. And when he was like calling them all off, I was confused. Isn't he just a stupid bugbear?
Turns out he wasn't.
I was prepared to having to fight him too, but we're kind of skipping the captain, aren't we? We found out he was quite
No, the captain is later.
he was kind of a badass. Like, we saw him fight those things on this ship, and we dreaded the day we had to kill him.
Yeah, but killing the captain came after this.
Okay.
Had a meeting with fire axe.
Yeah, it was a fun meeting. I think he dropped some stuff on us there, like, oh, I will betray my my horde or something like that. I think he said at that point. We were like, what? What does that mean? I don't even understand anything. Oh well. But yeah, go Sekhiroth. He's
Then you continued. Sorry.
no, he's a good guy, so to speak.
Well,
Yeah.
about that.
Good in one sense of the word.
Good to us.
He's pretty cool.
Then happened the event that you were speaking of. The event called Loose Ends. ... As you sailed down south with Odenkirk, and they were supposed to, Well, kill him and take his money.
Why?
Which we did gleefully.
Because he was too greedy and would sell all the knowledge he had.
Oh.
Could not be trusted.
It was a fun fight. We finally got to kill him, because he had been such an asshole to us all the way.
I remember when he left you guys on the boatcast that told him that he should be watchful of his back because she's gonna put a dagger in it. So, yeah, that was pretty
So
cool.
she did.
She did.
You know, I liked killing Odenkirk. It's a fond memory of petty vengeance, but you know.
Also a little being nervous because that axe was pretty.
He was very effective. I don't know what class it was, like Barbarian or something, but he certainly swung the axe. Quite a lot.
1d12 plus 10.
Plus 10, holy crap.
The X had a very good run later.
Yeah, it was
Where
later
is
on.
that axe now?
We
In the
forgot
horn?
it.
In
Yeah.
some
It's
bag.
still in the horn.
With the raven.
But that's when we came upon Aldencross, right? After that?
Yeah.
Yeah. The small sleepy town of Aldencross.
Remember that map?
Nope.
I imagine not.
I don't remember that at all.
That is from book 9.
Oh, okay.
Book 9?
7.
What?
You're not supposed to hear that.
Book 9, oh
Malachi,
god.
Malachi, we
Why,
need to
why
speak
do you
to
think your Throne of Night was delayed? So
Guys, working book
I
9
have
away of the
request.
wicked. Uh,
Malachi, Zone of Truth. Please
there you
tell
go for Aldencross. It's a nice little city. You came there, fought a god.
I will say that when we arrived at Aldencross and sort of, took a look at Ballantine, it seemed like such a titanic undertaking.
It
That
was.
I was like, oh
It
god,
was.
I don't even know if we can do this. Which I think actually resulted in us, for several sessions, spending hours, talking and trying to plan. How to approach this damn thing. Because that was very intimidating. At least to me.
Yeah, I think it was to all of us. It's like, how are we gonna take this?
It seemed quite impossible, but we started plotting around, we did some gathering rolls, and we slowly started to hear some very interesting rumors. Oh yeah,
yes.
the
It
attempt
was
at
awesome.
the attempt at poker, starting a fight and killing him during the fight.
Oh, that
That
was
was
great.
such a poor attempt at cheating.
Yeah, it was such a
No.
Terrible.
He just didn't want to fight.
No, he was just too good. But yeah, there's so many things when we talk about the infiltration and destruction of Ballantine. There's so many things that's just amazing from this.
Also, Maud with his cheating wife, that was awesome.
Yeah, like that. That's one thing. Mott and the wife that had an affair with
Italy.
Edderly, yes, Captain
was-
Edderly, and us setting those guys up. Like, oh man, yeah, it was
It was so awesome. But we had Jake go in as not.
Yes.
Oh my daughter saw that Italy and your wife.
And thank goodness we
Oh,
had.
you know what?
We had Jake's Uber bluff check and
Yeah, another place with the Uber bluff check was when we were sailing. We got stopped by a patrol,
oh, that's true.
Oh, yeah, that where we all
Yeah,
those
we had-
guys
and I was really
pretended to
hesitant
be
because this was
transport.
my first really big, actually talking and making talk. Because mainly I like to play quiet characters because I'm quiet. So it was my first real talking experience in a D&D game. Like a really big deal. So it saved us there, which is good because I think I rolled a 16 or something.
This is kind of a campaign where you can't be silent.
So I have a few key words attached to Ballantine here in my notes. The first one is Arsenic Edition,
Oh, yes, the arsenic incident.
which,
well,
No.
which basically was me and DDS.
Yeah.
No, you and Tyne actually.
That was me
Yeah,
and
it was-
Tyne?
You and Tyne, I think.
Oh, okay, yes.
I was sitting back at the time.
What
Oh.
were we doing?
So
it was,
okay, I
yeah.
can set up the scene here. So the two of you we decided as a group one of the things we could do was poison the cooking.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
were too
So what
old
you guys
people.
decided to do was you searched around town for a local. I don't know what kind of shop you were searching
Alchemist.
for.
Yeah, alchemist.
But you
or
walked
something.
into this old lady's shop.
Well, we used that headband to pretend we were old too.
Yeah, we were like this old couple and tried to pretend that this alchemist buy all the arsenic in the shop.
Because they were
arsenic
giant
on?
rats in your
Yeah, the
cellar.
size of horses.
Yeah. And he's like, this is an awful lot of arsenic you're buying here. It's like, Rice was like, charm person.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
They're
of
really
course, of course.
big
Those
rats.
rats aren't such a
Well, it was really stupid because we were so we have rats the size of horses and in our basement.
But it was fun. It was fun role playing.
It was really out of my comfort zone.
That's 1 point for both of you for that.
It was
I
like,
don't-
oh,
Never ended up using that stuff.
No.
I still have it. I still have it in my inventory.
Oh.
So that's that.
Oh, look at that.
And then we had our we had our first infiltration of Ballantine shortly after that, I think, when we dressed up or disguised ourselves as
For various roles.
various servants and basically went
Yeah.
in that way.
I'm going to try and recalling what everyone did. Cash was the potato peeler.
Yes.
Which was
Zachariah
so
was a
great
scribe.
for her character. Like Cash stuck peeling potatoes in the kitchen.
Zacharias was a scribe, I believe. Jake got stuck cleaning the toilets.
Oh yeah, that was
no,
great.
Quiet, we're done there.
That's actually, I will say, that is actually a lost episode to us because that episode screwed up. Something weird happened to the sound of that episode, so it's up there on my YouTube channel, but
happened.
there's no audio in it, I think.
I was working in the blacksmith. I don't remember what Sheep did.
Kyron was sweeping the hallways.
Yeah, you were just walking around with a broom.
Yes. And
You-
talking to that old lady who ended up insulting him basically because Kyron was like, oh, that guy isn't as pretty as you say. And she was like, oh, you're just jealous.
Oh, there she is, that cheating.
I most certainly though. Yeah, Miss Mott. I don't. Did we ever see the picture of Miss Mott? I don't think we did. Did we?
We did.
She was sitting on Mott's bed with Italy, remember?
Yeah,
yeah.
they were having like intercourse or something when
They
we
were
entered.
having
Like
the dance
dance.
with no pants.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have to say though,
It was
Ballantine
so
was one of my
juicy,
favorite
it was so
opportunities.
cool.
Because going around Ballantine, especially with like disguise and everything running, I was loving that.
It was very fun because we sort of did a lot of reconnaissance, did a lot of probing before we actually decided to strike.
And then
Yeah.
our strike teams involved, well, one, an invisibility sphere.
But we found out the secret passage. That was the first way in.
Yeah, in the basement, in the inn we were at.
Because we didn't have the invisibility sphere when it started because it was too low level.
That was one of the things which we definitely did though. Secret passage. The secret passage was an interesting one. It was not the easiest thing to pull off, but we did.
We
It
also-
was all because I think it was Sheep who woke up
We
at
also-
night and went down to the basement with this guy, and you were like, "Oh, I'm just looking for something to drink."
And we also planned to murder the barkeep and shove him in a barrel or something on there just to keep him out of our hair.
Charm person.
So
We actually
who
did
I
do that
what-
with all the other guards?
was the crow guy the first one we offed?
Yes.
I think
No, actually,
so.
no. I don't think so. Actually,
Oh.
I think the first one we offed was actually one of the officers in the forest.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
The
That
riding guy.
horse, remember?
Yeah, the cavaliers in the forest. That's right. We took those out first, and then we that night because it was like this huge theater production going up, like the Bard of Barrington and his theater troupe. Basically had set up something. It was going to be like this huge thing inside the fortress. We were like, that's a pretty good night of sneaking in and doing some damage.
So we
Because
went up and killed the ravens in the belfry.
Yeah, look at that raven. He's like, what?
Yes, we killed you.
Yes. All the ravens turned normal after we killed that dude, though.
Yep. And we cast a silence spell, I think, at that point too, to keep it sort of
We
quiet.
cast so
The
many
entire
silent
Yeah.
Ballantine involved me throwing out silence spells onto every single person we met.
It worked beautifully.
It was a real drain of my resources, though. That hurt as a player to be able to use that all the time.
But it was
It
so
was-
effective.
It was, and that the whole reason we attacked that guy was because everyone said he could see who was evil with his ravens.
I have a question for Manaki here, actually. Was
You're
there
muted.
was there anything in the books or in the book that would account for, because in hindsight I can't really see how you are supposed to get through Valentine without something like the silence spell.
Well, I mean, there are many multiple ways, many rumors and whatnot. For example, the whole jealousy play of with Mott and Ederly, as you discovered.
Mm.
There are more things like that. For example, you could poison people with the arsenic.
Mm.
If done right, it can be. I think I also gave you that tip actually when you got it, that it can be mistaken for tuberculosis or something. But then put the place into sort of. You can do a whole lot to weaken it. I think the best you can probably get is like at the very end, you're standing on this burning damn building, right? The gate opened, and then you'll have some epic bridge fight on that middle bridge, or something.
We had a pretty good one.
That would be something. Other things are like the Bard of Barrington. A party with a bard could have actually killed them and taken their place and done a whole lot more without being suspected because they were supposed to be there, right?
Right.
And,
Which also disappointed me the fact that
We did have an evil bard, damn it.
Yeah, if I actually did say though, if I made an evil bard, I would have loved it because I could have played like the Joker.
That's true.
there's a lot of different things that could have been done. Killing the barkeep though, that would have been a stupid idea. Because his brother was a very intelligent man who was very sort of proud and whatnot, and would not have let that go easily.
It's a good thing we killed his brother first. And we saw that the barkeep the next day was kind of nervous.
Same
like,
with the rookery.
hadn't heard.
It's also very important.
Yeah, which is also why we took out the bird guy to get to the rookery, take that out.
Then of course it all culminated in a fight you should not have won.
Yes.
Yeah, so we infiltrated, shortly after that we infiltrated, no, at the same time I think, we infiltrated and killed the wizard. It's the same night we killed the druid, we also killed the wizard.
The wizard was an interesting one because we didn't realise that wands could be used in that way.
Yeah, it didn't provoke,
Yeah.
so that was dangerous, but we got him. We did the fatal mistake of leaving his head though.
Yeah.
Kind of learned that the hard way, I suppose.
How we just ran in there with them talking to him. We were like, oh.
We kicked
Hey!
open the door
Yeah.
and just wrecked him.
No,
That-
remember
that
when
fight
when
was
we
just-
kicked in the door and they had him on the table and they had just done they had just used that
All right,
speak to
yeah.
dead. We just kicked in the door and they were in the. They knew we were gonna arrive because they had used that spell on that wizard. So we were like, oh, we're gonna surprise them. Then kicked in the door and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, you
Oh.
expected
There were
this.
so many
Oh,
people.
yeah.
Yeah.
There was the night after when we came back. It was like, they're not gonna expect us. And then was like, oh, they have the. Oh, of course. God
I managed to
fucking damn it.
flying onto the roof and then going down.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Another thing you could have done, which might be the poison Cash still has, is the wolfsbane. His office that could have been put in the food. If stolen, that would have killed almost everyone, because that is a very lethal thing to be ingested.
But yeah, then we went up against a fight that from start was like, there's guards, a few guards, and a few bards. We can handle this. And then,
And then there were more guards and more bards and more guards and then a paladin and
a
the
cleric.
guy.
Yeah, and at that point, I was like, all right, we need to get out. We need to get out because this is not going our way at all. And we just need to like one more round and then we run because we can't fight this.
And that round, I think Zacharias greased the
Yeah.
paladin who fell over.
Yep.
And then just, well, Kyron critting, really.
Yeah, history was made really.
Oh.
Yeah.
With critting with the freaking Odin Kirk's axe, just raging and hitting and critting like double 20 or something.
And so it began. Kyron the boss killer. The legacy was created.
It was glorious. I think everyone was losing their minds.
Lord Thomas Haviland was by himself a CR8 encounter.
We were level
That battle
5 at the time.
was hard. Like that was an epic encounter.
Yeah.
If defeated. But basically, you were insanely lucky.
Yeah.
On all accounts, more than you had any right to be, really.
Then we had a
And had he
combination-
hit you, he would have killed someone with pretty much any hit at that fully buffed level of smiting.
Yeah, I still remember, like, after that fight, you were like, do you guys want to see his attack? And then you
You're
showed
right.
us, and then we were like, oh, we should not have won this fight.
Yeah. It's one of the most pivotal moments of book 1, I think, is that crit.
And after that, you basically had an easy time because every major guy had been
Yeah.
killed by bad luck.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
priest was an interesting one.
Well, he himself wasn't that interesting, really. We tried to do some stuff with him, but he didn't really buy it. Like, we tried to bluff him and such.
We did
But
get him to move.
yeah,
It didn't work as planned, unfortunately.
What
but
was
that
it we
the
did? We told him something about the
Wanted the farmer's daughter to tell him her sins privately,
yes.
in like the basement or something.
yep, that was the plan. He didn't buy it though. It's too bad.
Yeah, it was so funny.
But yeah, after that, we was basically a
Oh.
mop-up operation where we snuck in like in several days in a row and just killed as many guards as we could.
We didn't
Enchant-
sneak in, we walked in and
Yeah.
threw firebolts and left.
Yeah, we basically
repeatedly.
yeah.
The Enchanted Chapel was one that came up.
That's the final battle when we went for it for real. I took out the last battlement with Barnabas. One with a few defenders. That Mott was still alive at that point. I can't remember.
So Thomas is addressed as Thorn's brother,
Yes,
and he is married to that woman that addressed as Thorn was all
loving. Yes,
lovey-dovey with. Yes, okay.
Yeah.
And it's their son that is so annoying at the moment. Yes.
oh yes,
Good.
Richard
You're
Haviland.
constructing the family tree
How
in
did-
your mind.
We didn't.
Yeah.
We didn't kill him there, or he wasn't there, or something. So.
He teleported.
But yeah,
no,
Richard.
in the end,
at Valentine.
Oh no, Richard wasn't there.
He wasn't there.
in the end, we did actually fight Mod, even though he was like sentenced to death in Bannerska.
Oh,
He
it's
was
Yes.
brought back for some reason, but he wasn't.
He was in prison.
In prison. Until he
He-
could be gotten. But basically, the scouts weren't really coming back anytime soon to bring the message. So, and there were no more ravens either at that point.
Yeah, we
So
blocked
the
communications.
so the last battle was on the bridge versus Barnabas and I think someone else, and the Lantern Archon showed up. Yeah, big guy. And that turned out to be very dangerous. And I think at that point actually Manaki had mercy on us because the thing could just have flown out of our reach. It just hovered there and blasted us forever, and we couldn't have done anything about it, I think. But it sort of kept rather close, so we could like throw
You
daggers and
saw it.
stuff
You
at it.
entered into the place,
Yeah.
and it had to fly in to be able to see and hit you.
Yeah.
And it had to because you were opening the damn gate.
Mm-hmm.
So, if it didn't, that didn't really matter.
It's like, you could stay outside and wait until one of us comes out, but at the same time, we could send an army of bugbears.
I was completely drained after that fight. I had nothing left.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
fight. I think Marcus was basically lying on the floor for half the fight.
That was something that was
Yeah.
kind of symptomatic for all of book 1, I think, for Marcus. Though.
Yeah.
Hey, go.
Just lying on the floor like, oh!
Took a lot of attacks all the time. We were supposed to do, really. But
I quite vividly remember at some point talking to the group, going like, "Hey, we need to do something with Marcus because he's not pulling his weight here."
Yeah.
But I think that has changed drastically at this point.
Yeah, I became the new boss killer.
Yeah,
Well,
which
kind of
which
fits
we'll get to in a
the
minute, I'm sure.
But yeah, that was, I guess, Ballantine destroyed.
how did it feel ending the first book? Valentine burning, having succeeded. Moving on to the next big thing. I remember you all being like, "We're damn tired of Valentine.
Yep.
Screw this place."
That
I
felt
was actually really
so
happy.
good.
Yeah, it was a huge victory. And I was so happy that we actually... Basically, we killed every single living soul in Ballantine.
At the
What I was happy
maximum
about is we
best ending, yeah.
basically 100% run back the book one. It
Yeah.
seemed like, for that section at least.
Not like it's like 15% though. at this
Yeah,
guard. But you know,
can't have it
You
all.
know,
better.
that's why I said of that section at the end.
Yeah.
Well, we did kill all the guards, and there was
So-
only civilians left.
Yeah, we 100% the fort.
So, what was there any time during Valentine, Manaki, when you were like holding your head and being like, "Oh God, they're all gonna die now," or like
Well, but
they're
we ended
screwing
the
up?
Apart from
fight, like,
behaving.
let's fight this fight. Let's not like look inside. Like, let's kill them all. Oh, yeah. You know, if that's how it's gonna end, let's go in a blaze of glory, right? Then you were like all my attacks, and I was like kind of praying for them to fail, you know, and they did. I was like, oh, it's continuing. Oh, this is interesting. And then in the end, you know, it all. Yeah, you came out, and I was like, oh, well, that's unexpected, but
We'll take it.
yeah, like there go, like that's not how it was supposed to go, but sure. This saved you a hell of a lot of trouble. When Valentine actually musters up, it is one hell of a place to be. When the alarms began ringing and whatnot, you do not want to have to assault it then, because they will be expecting people, and they will know everything, and you'll be screwed. But you're basically like at the point where they would have been like, all right, we saw these, they fled from us, and now we know who they are. Let's muster the city and let's muster this place. Be ready for everything. You basically killed everyone who knew, and so your whole mistake with letting them know basically became nullified at that instance. So instead of things turning bad, them having sort of a return, to comeback, you know, it turned out in a horrible defeat. It really, I mean, that is probably, I think it's one of the most critical changes in sort of immediate changes in the game. That one hit that arguably shouldn't have been a hit if it hadn't been like a.
It was not on the floor. And
Pacing roll.
I still like that image back in the fight where he basically entered the room, fell down, and died instantly.
yeah, get an axe in the face, like oh, smack. And you know what they say, you know, the bigger they are, the harder Chiron hits.
It was also
Yes.
then when Mod came in that he was like, I may be forsaken, but something like that.
And then he had a pit fight with Chiron.
Yeah, that's right. I put him in a pit.
Remember that one guy who got a name because you just could not,
Oh yeah,
And the guard.
that guy Bob the guard or whatever his name became.
Yeah.
like 30 damage.
And comic relief guy.
I made a picture. I'm pretty sure it catches.
Yeah, you
Just
bring
kill
him up.
him. And where
I still-
is it? Did
I
I?
still resent comic relief guy.
I
my
don't.
job.
What's that his name? Comic relief guy.
No, that was his
There's
friend.
another guy. Yeah.
yeah, that's a bunyip. Look at that. Look at that smug bunyip sitting on. I don't know who that is, but it's like.
Back then, I didn't make anyone. There's not even enough people in the boat. I have not. I'll find.
Oh,
the
here we
picture,
go.
but-
Chiron.
Comic relief guy was the named guy's friend who kept rolling ones.
Oh right,
Yeah,
right.
he was one of the bards, I think.
Oh, that's Chiron. He won't hit me.
He won't hit me. Oh, I remember. Let's see if I can. I haven't added that.
Forever alone, Marcus. I've forgotten that picture.
But a few of these I've forgotten.
Let's see. Here,
And they have
here he
remained
is.
They
forgotten.
should be made into the sort of emoticons for the chat.
I don't think I can do that.
Yeah.
I wish I could.
If we were on Twitch and you were able to get subscribers, then these would be our sub
Here it
icons.
is. I added it. Kill him!
And that's a
cat
picture. This Zacharias for some reason was adopted.
It's because I don't remember. It was something that said, "Well, you're adopted because you were talking smack to me," and I was like, "Well, you're adopted," and I called you fat and because you know Gladys. I think it's because at that point we kept singing that "Still Alive" with that guard. Just die, guard. Is the name of the picture.
I really like the picture of Marcus there. You can instantly see that it's Marcus because of the helmet.
It was like, just kill him! It was like, we catch, and so I quit. I can't kill this guy. And I was like, I just imagine Cass sitting on the floor, just kill him!
It's pretty good.
Die, guard!
Breaking down.
Oh.
Yeah. And then Marcus came up behind him and finally hit him. But yes,
Marcus isn't all useless.
Zacharias is adopted. Yes. Stone Cold.
Stone Cold was a good spell back in the day. Did a lot of fun stuff with Stone Cold.
Oh yes, especially Chiron spending hours tidying up horse bodies.
Oh yes. Burying
Stone
horses.
Cold rain down.
Oh
Was there-
yeah, from when we went out and killed the riders that were running to whatever.
Is that Marcus in a tutu?
No,
Yeah.
that's Timian.
Oh, okay.
You sure? I put it as Marcus. I
Is
prefer
it
it to be
Marcus?
Marcus.
I
No,
remember.
that's totally Timian.
I
Because Marcus
really-
would never be caught in a tutu.
And it's because we said something that we would make Timian to put a tutu on, and then I drew a picture that's okay. I did it. I'm
Poor
pretty
Timian.
sure it's Timian in a tutu.
So much abuse to that poor kid.
Let's see.
Oh.
What the
Speaking of Timian.
the picture is just called for Jake. The Timian Joe.
So yeah, we
Asurius
left.
dancing with slimes because every time we touch.
We left Valentina's smoldering ruin,
Yeah.
and everyone was happy.
And
Until-
the town of Aldencross was also a smouldering ruin.
Yeah, and then Theodora showed up again, and we were like, oh,
And we were smoldering ruin.
yeah,
I mean, at this point, we weren't 100% hating her. We were only like 90% hating her.
yeah. And we had
Wasn't-
a
Wasn't this also Valentine the time when Kyron started the "He won't hit me"?
yeah, it was.
That started when we fought the bugbears back in Fire Axis camp.
Well, I made this picture when we were in Valentine. Kyron can't hit me. I made that picture with the guard running at Kyron, and he's just like, "He won't hit me."
I like the look on his face. It's kind
Yeah.
of
Super smug. He's like, "Whoa."
It's perfect.
look at my armor. I'm a sorcerer in melee after all.
He won't hit me, and I
Wait,
remember
what-
that is the guard that wouldn't die. He just went over and critted Kyron. I was like, "Just die, stupid guard."
I don't know exactly which scene this is from, but I do like this picture.
That's on the bridge with fireballs.
Yeah, that is Zacharias using Fireball, but because I noticed that I just got Jonas on Steam, and his Steam picture is Sharingan, and I was like, "Oh, you like Naruto?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I could." You told me could do all the hand sign for Katungu Katunutsu. I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, cool!" And I was like, and I drew this picture for you,
Yeah, I
and it was
appreciate
not
it.
it was not a Fireball. You used Katung Katunutsu.
Yep.
So that's Zacharias using Fireball.
Yep, and I can actually do the hand signs for it if pressed.
You
So
still can.
I'm such a
Well,
nerd.
maybe,
If in fatal danger, you can.
Yes.
And
use
Theodora.
Maybe
Confuse
we'll have
your
to
opponent.
see that sometime.
Yeah.
That was book 1
Mm.
ended. Well, 10 out of 10.
Well, 10 out of 10 in Act 3, 1 out of 10 in Act 1.
All in all, though, 10 out of 10.
And,
Yeah.
moved on to arriving